Come on.
Yeah, give me the shovel. Yeah, digging the dirt. Yeah, we digging the dirt. Yeah, we in this fight. Yeah, we in this flight. Yeah, we taking it off. Yeah, we taking it off. Hey, taking it off.
All right, what's up, everybody, and welcome to another edition of TGIM. Thank God it's Monday. All right, everybody, happy Monday. Hopefully you all didn't blow all your stimulus checks on some TVs and some video games this weekend. So, hopefully you still have something left of that $1,400 if you do. But, if you still do, make sure you pay attention right here, because we're about to talk about that. For the love of money, the money, and get your mind right. Money. Yeah. I'm Martin Motivation. I guess you can call it Money Martin Motivation. And we got your boy over here. We got Kenny Smooth Shoes in the building. What's up, Kenny?
Cello.
Oh, hey. And then we got, don't forget about Josh. What's up, Josh? How we doing?
What's going on? Living the dream.
One day at a time.
Oh, yeah. And today's guest is going to be the man, the myth, the legend. You talk about the axe throwing fiend.
He is the
financial connoisseur. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Jonathan to the show. What's up, Jonathan?
Hey, welcome. I'm happy to be here with y'all. How are we all doing today?
Doing great.
Fantastic.
Oh, yeah. Just trying to attack every day and every week with great enthusiasm, unknown to mankind. So that's awesome. So John, just give just a quick little background about kind of what do you do?
Well, I'm a daily day trader or stock trader rather. My background's in military. I have a background in the military. I do daily trading as well as I run axe throwing business.
Nice.
And, I was a pioneer in the sport. On the very beginning of the launch of axe throwing and the way where we have now grown as the trend is picking up.
Nice.
Okay, that's awesome. That's awesome. And you said you started the how long have you been running that business?
Just over 4 years. And I only run a very small part of the operations. That there is a very big team that collectively comes together and produces a larger product.
Okay, that's awesome.
But your story is interesting. How you got into that, though. That's the fun stuff.
Yeah. It was so like after the military, I attended college at Belmont University and noticed that there was a trend of niche markets, and I was searching for a niche market in which I stumbled across the experience-based business genre. And so as time progressed, I was looking for some sort of business, some sort of adventure that like wasn't going on, that no one was doing, and that's where I stumbled across Battle's axe throwing in Toronto, Canada, and I thought it was an amazing concept, and I recreated it in Nashville and ended up partnering with the organization that whose business model I ended up using.
That's awesome. That's awesome, especially just that's wonderful. And
just going out there throwing axes, not a clue, not a one.
Just
finding.
we got started at $150 in the basement of Subway. Literally would just stand against the wall and just throw an axe, trying to figure out what we were doing, and using that as like, okay, self-learning, self-failure to progress into learning how to teach people and what are appropriate methods. At the time there wasn't a script or anything you could search for how to start an axe throwing business. So we were pioneering and failing through the early steps of which now we've definitely figured out many ways to make the sport a lot more fun, a lot more attractive to bring in more guests and increase that experience.
Okay, that's awesome. So that's awesome. And we'll dive into the business probably a little bit later. Hopefully in a part 2, we'll talk about that a little bit. So make sure y'all stay tuned for that. But so John, I know you said you're a day trader, and you do all kinds of what's your general, like, your finance background a little bit. I know you do a lot of stuff with that, freelance and
Well, I guess more so
business-wise.
entrepreneurship kind of mindset, where I never really stuck to one specific trade, or I was always, hustling from a young age. I started off picking up cans on the side of the road in Michigan and exchanged them at the corner store for 10 cents a piece, and getting candy and saving the rest for a rainy day. And by the time actually the can business was quite lucrative when you had neighbors that didn't want to return their cans, and you would just take them to the corner store and cash them in and give them half, and you take the other half, and working out those deals. What was exciting was fun. It definitely beat the $5 an hour that they would pay a 14-year-old, or to shovel horse manure.
Just getting out there and
Oh, wow.
hustling, picking up their
Oh,
can
wow.
back to back to back, repetitious.
That's awesome, especially for the hustling. And a lot of the viewers and listeners that we have here are relatively young, and just tell them what's some of the reasons why people should care about financial literacy, and why should anyone care? Why is it important?
Do you want to planning for the future? It's you look every day, you see homeless people, you see folks that are working paycheck to paycheck. It was a very big eye opener this last when the pandemic did hit, that there were so many people that are just blowing all their money, and all of a sudden this pandemic hit, and they're like, what am I going to do? I don't have any money. I just got laid off. And which then promptly there was a $1,200 stimulus that was in April that was given out.
That's not a lot, though.
In which, well, if at the time invested properly, could have been a lot today. But yeah, like having planned for those emergency funds, having at least 6 months of your living of what your living lifestyle is like a safe, if you need to fall back onto it. Definitely don't get stuck to where you have to rely on somebody else. If you have to delay gratify and slow, it is fun to go out and spend lots of money. It is fun to go out and pick up everybody's checks, but when is the time to do that? I'd say you should wait to do that, or strategically figure out ways that don't cost as much money, that you can still provide a great experience for those that you're trying to influence, but also trying to prepare yourself for the future.
Yeah. So I guess a lot of the reasons for financial literacy is just preparing yourself for the future and these rainy days, because you don't know when the next time you're either going to lose your job, or another pandemic's going to hit and everything's going to shut down. So
I like to have a plan,
like
A, B, C, D, because A's definitely, it's just a matter of time when A's going to crumble, then you move on to plan B, C. So my wife calls me paranoid, but I'm just prepared for the worst. I
Ready.
Look at things that way,
Yeah, having multiple cookie jars, to pull from, and diversifying your experiences of what your background is. Yes, I'm a business owner. I manage people. I trade stocks. There's multiple partnerships. I have a background in aviation maintenance as a background. If I had to fall down on something.
Right.
And if you listen to Elon Musk, I'm ready to sell those rockets.
Oh yeah.
Rockets.
I love it. So yeah, so just and I love it. So starting off, what are some of the the base things that folks need to know just about financial literacy? Like, if somebody's just starting from ground zero, where should they start? What should they start doing to become more financially literate?
I would say, yeah, definitely figuring out not, where you can save money. If you can dial into having how much you spend every single month on groceries, and you can like stick to a budget to where you're saving as much as you can and putting that into account and reinvesting it into, depending on how much risk that you're willing to take. The younger you are, I'd say take more risk on more prominent stocks, like more risk meaning stocks, not quite the low, like there's low risk like mutual funds. I'd wait till you're more in your 30s, 40s before you're really heavy in mutual funds. But like looking at, and I'm not an advisor by no means, so at the least, this is just my personal thoughts on what I wish I would have done more. But looking at EV, Tesla, I like the $1,400 stimulus checks. I'd buy 2 shares of Tesla immediately.
What?
If you would have invested the $1,200 stimulus check from last April into Bitcoin, it'd be worth over $11,000 today.
Right now.
Right now, yeah.
And then you could just reinvest that.
If you would pull out, you'd have to pay the taxes, and then yes, you could reinvest it. But looking at like something as simple as like that is a high risk. If I was 18 years old and I didn't necessarily need to go blow $1,400 to stimulate the economy, and I know that it is, it is meant to stimulate the economy and whatnot. But take care of yourself. If you have debt, tackle that debt. If you have you had to pay back your neighbors, or you got to pay back the sister or the dad, take care of them people. Take care of yourself, of course, if you need to make that that truck payment or car payment. But yeah, other than that, I would say really focus on delayed gratifying. Don't blow it. Just because you have $1,400, don't go buy a new necklace or I definitely wait on that. If you're younger, if you're 18, 19, 20, 25, 30, less at 30 and less, try to save it, try to reinvest it. EV is hot in the stock market. If you don't have stocks and you get $1,400, buy 2 shares of Tesla. You'll thank me.
Wow.
Okay.
So think more about those needs, not those wants.
Yeah, diving into the stock market. And you mentioned a good point about paying off the debts and investing. So let's say somebody could really afford to pay off the debts. Which one should they prioritize for investing versus paying off debts?
If it's a credit card, go after your highest interest first. If you had a buy here, pay here car, I would just try to get out of that thing. If you're struggling because of your credit, you have to, tackle your highest interest where you're paying the most interest out, because a lot of those high interests, there's a lot of times where you're only paying the interest of the bill, and very small portion of the actual principal is being paid on.
Yeah. So tackle those high interest debts first. And a lot of times that a lot of people don't notice when they look at the fine print is most of that interest is pushed on to the beginning of the loan to make sure that they get their money first.
It's like the difference between an arm tackle and a full-on tackle. Mm-hmm. We need full-on tackles here.
It's definitely a full arm tackle.
Let's actually open up. Let's get a tackle going. No one arms here, guys. Let's tackle this.
If you want to get laid out, that's what those credit companies do. Like definitely tackle those high interest loans. Get rid of those. Tackle your debt. You don't need debt. Debt is not that important. You do not need to go out and spend frivolously where you're not. Doesn't make sense.
Oh yeah.
Tackle that debt.
Absolutely, tackle that debt.
Delay gratify. Invest in the stock market. If you have more money to invest, look at these this time where there's very low interest rates in homes. If you have the credit and the means to pay rent, and you don't really want to move too far, and in the same little area, more than likely you can afford a home. Especially with the low interest rates right now, super low. Look into that.
Yeah.
Wow.
And actually, I actually want to dive into real estate with you in a little bit. But before we get into that, I want to talk about the stocks. Okay, first and foremost, how'd you get into trading initially?
Initially, it was just as out of a hobby. I was like, what can I do? And I was like, I always enjoyed money or playing with money or taking high risk investments. And I have learned from some failed attempts. Playing with certain amounts of money, but also now we're doing much better. We've learned from those failures, and those risks. There's certain things that you never know they're going to hit, but also if you didn't risk it, then you potentially would never have that return. So I would say, really measure how much risk you have and how much you're willing to take. Stay away. Also, stay away from the casino. Don't.
You don't want to risk it on red.
I just got my stimulus check. I'm heading to the casino. You're coming with.
Always wins.
All in on red.
Well, I do have a strategy for roulette, but we can talk about that later if you want to.
Another episode.
That's another episode on.
There is a semi proven strategy for roulette. So
okay, but yeah, I always say you make the most money at a casino by not going.
Yeah,
That is true.
just wait for a red day when Tesla's red and buy as much as you can.
Yeah,
Wow.
see exactly. I'm like, if you have a gambling addiction, you go into the stock market.
Wait for those markets to crash, and when they crash, buy when they're crashing. Buy the stocks that you know are going to recover, because they will. Tesla's not going anywhere, but it swung from over 900 to down under 600 in the last month.
Wow.
And now's a perfect time to buy Tesla. It was down under 600. Yeah. It's floating around 700 right now.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. $6.92 a share.
Yeah.
Wow.
If I would have got if I got the $1,400 stimulus check, 2 shares of Tesla would be added to my portfolio.
Okay.
Or 100% Bitcoin.
Okay.
Or one share Tesla, the rest Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Split it, but between the two, those 3 scenarios, that's what I would personally have to pay off any debt.
Okay. Okay. And first and foremost, how do you increase your investing literacy, I guess, within the stock market and cryptocurrency, and how do you just increase your knowledge on that?
There's so much like Bloomberg News. You turn on the Yahoo Finance and just let that play. They're always talking about stuff. And if you hear something like, "What does this mean?" You can look it up, and just continuously to dive, to learn, to feed yourself more knowledge. You only know how much you know until you know. And the best way to know,
I know what I know.
Yes.
You listen to YouTube videos, you listen to podcasts, continue and multiple people. Like there's put on everything you can find about a topic and just flood yourself with it.
Be a sponge.
Yeah.
And then just learn what you want to learn and soak it in. It's like, oh, this person's saying this thing, this person's saying the other thing. Oh, these things kind of connect, and then that helps you make better decisions for yourself.
Yeah, that's awesome. And something that's actually really, really interesting about that, especially people who really think about the future instead of the now. There's this one kid that I coached that's real big into finance. We started talking finance and stuff with him. There's actually a kid in summer school. And the kid is like 16 and he already has a Roth IRA. Already put money in that.
Oh, that's
and a lot of folks don't even know what a Roth IRA even is.
Yeah.
So, it's amazing. So, especially a lot of people don't think
to be
about
that young. That's pretty wild.
Yeah, because a lot of people don't think about retirement accounts when you're like a teenager and young, but you'll appreciate
Someone set him up good.
Yeah, so you'll appreciate it in the future, especially when dealing with retirement accounts and just general investing. Because I know you said I know you're looking at a few different folks, like like Meet Kevin and a few other folks. Do you look into that one?
Yeah, I actually am a daily live stream subscriber to Meet Kevin.
Okay.
So yeah,
Okay.
he definitely he's a great inspiration. He's always on top of the markets. You got Meet Kevin, Graham Stephan.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have both solid individuals, younger folks that have made very wise choices with investing their money properly, uh, growing their net worth, being a successful young entrepreneur.
Yeah. So that's awesome. That's awesome. So yeah, so especially because it was great because I was just about to ask you what's the best thing to do with that $1,400 you're getting. Okay, don't spend it on the PS5 because you're probably not going to get it anyway for about 6 months. You can get the controller, but that's about it.
You can get the controller and rewire it to something else.
Yeah, the only way I would buy a PS5 if my buddy had already bought the PS5 and he really needed money and he was going to sell it to me for $200, and then I could go turn around and sell it and make $500.
Oh yeah, I would say yeah.
Bam.
Flipping a PS5. Now that's another ballgame. Flipping that's a hot commodity.
If there's an opportunity, but make sure you pay the taxes on it. Make sure you that you put it towards your business and pay the appropriate taxes on that PS5.
Mm-hmm. Don't want to get audited on that. So that's awesome. So you talk about your trading. Are there any particular apps and stuff that you like? Like, do you mostly trade like on the computer, on apps, or do you mostly do day trading or weekly trading or monthly?
I'm on the market daily. At least like viewing it. There's certain times that I'm watching trends go throughout all day, watching them minute by minute, what's happening, how the trade volume's going throughout the day. And there's other days where I just sit back or let it do its thing, and just watch it. Repeat those that last list of kind of questions that you and comments you were saying.
I was saying, were there any apps that you like to use for that, and how often do you actually trade and put money in?
Apps that for investment purposes. I use primarily E-Trade and Coinbase. E-Trade for stock trading and Coinbase for crypto trading. I don't use Robinhood for crypto trading. I did for a very short bit, but because that you weren't able to transfer that crypto that was in Robinhood to other wallets, that will kind of turn me off of that app. It is a great app for people that want to. I think it's called Acorn investing, where you can buy, like if you want to buy $50 worth of Tesla, you can, and you just own a fraction of Tesla.
Oh wow.
Right. It is good for that.
I've used Acorns. I didn't know you could do all that.
It's not Acorns. It's on Robinhood. Acorns.
Oh, okay.
Acorns. I don't think that. And not to talk bad about Acorns.
It's a good app, but it's like a little savings account, really.
I think it is a good app, but I don't think that using change to invest is the appropriate mindset. Like using spending as an opportunity to invest. I don't think that like having that program of like, oh, I'm spending money, but I'm getting acorns because I'm spending money, when that you're only like, it's only a very small, percent of that. Using that as, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I got you. So yeah, so E-Trade's one of your favorite. And
E-Trade, so I use E-Trade on the computer to kind of watch more of the larger charts. For quick, it has quick handheld accessibility. Coinbase is a great app for crypto. They'll pay you in crypto to watch videos of about certain cryptos. And so if you need a link to that, let me know and I'll
okay.
I can send you a link. Yeah.
Okay, absolutely. We definitely like to get that.
$40 in free crypto just by watching videos.
Okay.
What?
Oh wow.
Pretty awesome.
We definitely like to get that, and we'll hope to get that linked below, especially for the guys watching on YouTube. We'll definitely get that linked below. So make sure you look for that. Awesome. And speaking of, you're talking about people like Graham Stephan and Meet Kevin. one of the coolest things that they talked about is it actually got me into it was real estate. Tell me why real estate is so lucrative and so accessible.
Well, like right now, it's just a huge market. It's a huge seller's market. It's a huge buyer's market. It's a huge seller's market because there's more people are buying than are selling, and that's just driving up homes. If you own a place right now, you can potentially sell for a lot higher than you would normally. Oftentimes, flipping a home, which is also called like a wedge deal. When you buy a home under market value because it needs improvements, you go in, you make those improvements, you increase the amount the home will be appraised to because you make all those improvements, and you don't invest as much into it. So you invest less into the house, and now all of a sudden you have equity in a very short period of time, and then you sell that home or you rent it out. And those are a wedge deal is definitely a great opportunity for like your first, if you are looking to make money in real estate as your first buy purchase.
Okay. Yeah, I love it. And it's crazy because a lot of people don't think about, real estate, especially if you're paying rent for a home already. And just save a few extra $1,000, put that down as a down payment. Because a lot of times you can put up to as little as 3% down for a traditional loan. And I mean, like, man, and the rest you're just paying in mortgage and closing fees. And especially you guys with the VA, you'll get that extra benefit, especially all the military members don't really, hopefully can take advantage of that.
Yeah, VA has great benefits. The VA waives the mortgage insurance because it's a government-backed loan, as well as depending on the cost of the home and how much you are approved for, potentially 100% of that loan, where you have a 0% down.
Nice.
Yeah, and that's awesome because one of the greatest parts is real estate overall. Over the long term, real estate always goes up in value over the long term, and it goes up with inflation. Like right now, we're not exactly sure what's going to happen with inflation with this huge stimulus. Things may get more expensive. So if you put money into an asset now, such as a home that you plan on keeping and hopefully renting out, or maybe even selling, the value of that will go up, which means more rent you could charge, more equity you have, and your net worth will be a lot higher versus when you're renting. You're really not gaining anything, but you're gaining a place to stay, but you're not building any equity and no personal self-worth. You're basically adding to somebody else's self-worth, and you're paying off somebody else's loan.
Well, people help other people get rich every day.
Yeah,
that's a fact.
Might as well help yourself.
But also there's those opportunities when you only need a place for 6 to 12 months, and you're in between. But yeah, if you do have like plans of being somewhere long term, yeah, definitely figure out how much or what you can do for getting yourself into real estate.
So we were talking about real estate and stuff, and various ways to, and how that can increase your net worth. What's your take once again on just real estate and how that can add to your net worth in the future and just make you wealthier as a person?
Another great opportunity in real estate is looking at duplexes or quadplexes, living in one of them and renting out the others. So you're living in your home, you're living in a home and you're renting out, hopefully paying for your whole mortgage, in which that just can, all the money that you make from that can go back into reinvesting.
I love it. Yeah, absolutely. And one of the things I love about that option is that's actually what I'm working on right now. I already have a pre-approved for loan and everything. Because one of the advantages of getting a duplex or triplex is your tenant can be paying a good bit of your mortgage, most of your mortgage, while you're still building your net worth, and you're building your net worth and you're building your equity in the home. And the greatest part about it is half of the maintenance on your home is a tax write-off. Can be.
Yeah, that's an incredible loophole in those opportunities. And you see, there's
I was gonna say, hold up,
Uh-oh.
lizard.
Who let the dogs out?
Ho, 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 ho.
we can get that up here right quick, maybe.
See,
Lizard came to see what's going on.
you see, hey, because Lizard wants to find out about the money.
See, I'm just out here and I'm looking for the money.
The money.
You might be laughing. To me, it's not funny. See, I'm just out here and I'm looking for the money.
So yeah, so awesome. I love it. Yeah, so real estate, it's an amazing opportunity, amazing opportunity, and you know it's very easy, relatively easy to get a loan to get a house, especially if you do it the right way. If you buy and then just add on to another, just keep adding on more homes and using that extra additional income to reinvest into more real estate or invest in the stocks or whatever. And, you know, tax benefits are fantastic. The equity increases just over the value of your home, just increasing over time. It's just amazing. There's huge benefits in getting into real estate, especially at a young age. Especially if you do it in a financially literate way. So John, just tell me about this. I know you were talking about stocks and real estate. You know, what would you advise, you know, young people do in their free time to just learn more about this stuff? Like, you know, what would your advice be? How much time should these people just look into whatever it is, whether it's stocks or real estate or just basic finance?
I mean, pay attention to your market trends. If it's something, if you're interested in not being broke forever, or at least retiring comfortably, pay attention, to what's going on around you. If you don't want to do it yourself, find a good financial planner, and by good, someone that you trust, someone that has a background of helping people, that can prove it to you that they have a background of helping people for the greater.
Mm-hmm.
And other than that, if you want to do it yourself, go out there. You know, if you see all the kids playing Roblox and it goes public with an IPO, you know, I want to buy a couple shares of Roblox.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, because you think it's a potential good opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently that was one company over the course of the pandemic. You know, all the kids were starting playing because they're all stuck at home, and now they're public. If you think that this year that they might be better, or may continue to increase with their product offering, do your research.
So if the kids are like playing with something or they're buying something, you should invest in that.
Well, potentially look at those trends. You know, because like the children are the future,
Right?
and what they're doing is setting trends.
Right.
And you know, as adults, you may not, or you know, as you are getting older or whatnot, you know, look what the generation before you is doing, because they're essentially telling you what is going to be coming next, because they're going to bring that with them.
Like a wave.
Right.
Yeah, I like it. So look at the trends of the future, you know, especially those folks, instead of buying $400 Nike shoes, look to see if you could buy $400 in Nike stock.
Yeah.
Be the swoosh.
If you find a Nike being a company that you want to support, go in it. Buy in a red day though.
Yeah.
A red day being like a decline, like as far as the graph.
Yeah, green days and red days. So like when a stock goes down, you always want to make sure that it's like you want to buy low, sell high. That's essentially how you make money, you know, obviously.
Right.
But on those red days when they're declining, usually there's a rebound at some point. And if you can catch that stock on the bottom side of the sell, when people are selling because they're getting scared, they're like, oh, is the market going to crash? And they're basically they're having paper hands. You know, you have diamond hands that you're holding on to things forever, and you're not. It doesn't matter. Like, I'm not scared. I'm holding.
Forever.
It's like, oh no, I can't handle the fire sell, sell.
Wow.
And they're selling when
Yeah.
the market's declining. When a good habit to go into is when you see the market declining, where do I have this rainy day fund? Where can I put it? What's losing the most? Because like a lot of your EV stocks, a lot of your tech stocks, they're gonna recover. They're gonna bounce back. It just they're not gonna go bankrupt.
Right.
Yeah.
You have the market being agile and moving around, and people get scared, and it's like, oh well, it's your day traders. Like, well, no, I need to sell before this keeps going down because I don't want to hold off another month before it recovers.
So you slip in on a red day
Yeah.
when it's low.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I actually did that because I actually invested in General Motors in 2007.
I'm sorry.
Oh,
Was it
Right.
before or after they went bankrupt?
that was right after they went bankrupt.
Oh, so when they're
Okay.
red, you came in when they were red.
Yeah.
Well, when they went bankrupt, all the stocks that were before that were worthless, zero.
Yeah, completely.
$1. So like
Yeah.
the entire company went from, oh, we're worth this much, we could file bankruptcy, the government bailout. Now it's government motors,
Like a reset.
Yeah.
and all
Zero.
all that stock was gone.
Yeah.
If you were a shareholder prior to the government bailout from General Motors, yeah, you owned however many shares, $0.
Back to zero. So yeah, so luckily I also put a lot. I think I only put like $100 in it, and I think when I checked it now, it's worth about $600.
Oh yeah,
That's more than
At
100.
least. Yeah, and
yeah.
so it's crazy. So, and your advice for somebody who's probably never done anything in the stock market before, when you invest, would you suggest investing a little bit at a time to kind of get your feet wet, to kind of learn the trends a little bit more, or would you suggest just kind of just throwing it out there?
I would figure out how much I want to invest, and I would split up my buys into 10 different increments, 10 different buy day increments on those red days.
Okay, so you'd spend your total.
If I had $10,000 to invest, or $1,000 to invest, if I'd had $10,000 to invest, I'd take $1,000, and on those red days, I take 1,000, I put it there, 1,000, and put it there, and or multiple places. Get $1,000 to invest, $100 here, $100 there, $100, and on these different days, and you're watching the market as it goes, and also you're not feeling like you're just like all in, and it's just like now you're just watching it really move around.
Okay, so that's good. That's also a good way where you can actually learn at the same time, because you're not putting all your money in at the same time. So even if you lose it, you're not going to lose everything.
But yeah,
So
if I had whatever I had to invest, I take it and spread it across a month. Don't rush it. It's like, just because everyone's saying like buy this, and you're just like all in, and then all of a sudden it just because people are talking about it, that's usually after the rush, and then they're gonna have a sell off. So yeah, actually that's another good piece of advice. Whenever they're like yelling buy, and you just like it just went up 100% today, and you buy it the next day, there's potential it could keep going up another 100%, or everyone that got that 100% is selling and taking their gains, and now it's dropping.
Yeah.
Baby, bye.
Bye.
So buy on the red days. Don't buy on the green days.
Yeah. So shoot, especially when people are saying bye,
Well,
you're also saying that to your money.
Baby, bye.
So that's awesome. So that's awesome. So just split your money into tens and but use 10%, and eventually get
It makes you feel like you learn as you go. You're like, okay, I'm learning about this. You can look into insider trading. There's a lot of like like they're post-dated insider trades of like, oh, this CEO just who is a 10% owner of the company just bought $1 million worth of this of their company. And it's like, okay, well, why is that person investing that money, or why are they buying more? And you kind of look into the company. Oh, they are talking about potentially partnering with so and so, and it sends you down a little rabbit trail, and you just go figuring out, is this potentially a good good buy or not?
I like that too. How you said the little rabbit trail. It's like the wormhole, or
you follow the money. It's you follow the people, you follow the money, you follow the company, and you just do a deep dive analysis of the company if you feel like you do want to invest with that company. And it's like oftentimes you're like, oh, they have a good trend. Oh, the CEO has a good background, having worked with so and so company. They were with them from this point to this point. They grew that other company this way. They're already growing this company this way. This person usually makes really sound choices, so I'm going to choose to invest my money with this person that's with this company. That's another thing you could look at as well.
Okay, awesome. And I know that's a lot to dive into, and it truly definitely appreciate the advice. That's fantastic. So now we're about to go into the Fab Four.
Oh, I got my black socks ready.
Oh, so make sure you're ready. The last four questions that we ask every single guest on this show at the end. So these are all basically based on finance, okay, and a financial situation. So John, are you ready for the Fab Four? 4 questions that we ask every single person on the show. Are you ready?
We're ready.
Are you sure? Are you sure?
I don't think I have a choice.
All right. Well, let's get it. So the number one is, when it comes to whether it's finance, investing, financial literacy, any of it, what was your biggest challenge?
Biggest challenge was believing in a product or service so much that you would invest everything that you did potentially have into that for an expected outcome. When you go all in on a certain project, that does take everything that goes from this is everything I've saved and earned. All of a sudden, I'm scraping rock bottom. What's going to happen? You just have that faith, and if it takes off, that happened. That's what happened with me. We, with the axe throwing, I took everything I had, I poured everything into getting it started, and then it was like a rocket ship. So I would say that those bottom gravel spots where it's like, oh, I don't have money, that I'm actually in debt. I actually do have debt that's I'm not paying myself, and I really don't have money because everything is that I had was invested into this fashion.
So I got you. So yeah, so that's probably real rough, especially knowing that you put everything into it and just making sure it survives.
Well,
Johnny.
Then you have the people that say like, no one's ever going to pay you to throw an axe. And like, well, I'm glad you're okay to believe that, but I'm going to prove you wrong.
John stayed in the fight. Then took flight.
Yeah.
Take off.
Yeah. Or you should have said nobody.
I want to come there and do it. I've never thrown an axe like that before.
It's fun.
Yeah. When we go to Tennessee one year, we definitely have to come.
Yeah.
See, I would just say, well, nobody asked you for your opinion.
If I was up on my axe puns, not that day. Although the people always were like, oh, they always like throw like some sort of axe pun out there, and I can't right now, but
just messing with you.
Yeah, that's funny.
But look at you now.
Yeah.
You're the king of axes. Look behind you. You got a beautiful. That's Polly's painting, yeah.
Yeah, this is a Polly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I remember when that came in the room. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Check out Polly, Underground Kid.
Yeah, Flint Underground Kid.
Yeah. So what was your biggest reward for the whole thing? With this journey, this finance journey that you've been on?
Well, it's never about money. I know that we did talk a lot about money, but not about money. Money is not the end all be all. It's helping people. And I found enjoyment and success over helping people. And with the axe throwing, it just so happens that helping people learn a new skill, throwing a silly little axe at a target, brings them so much more confidence that they can do something that they walk through the door not knowing if they could do it, prior to.
Yeah.
Accomplishment.
And so having a business that gives that type of return on investment, that people are having a great time at your establishment, that's the number one reward I feel that I've had from it.
Okay.
And that's something money can't buy.
Yeah, it's not about money, it's about having a passion. So yeah, don't chase the money, chase a passion, because if you chase a passion, then money will be the outcome.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm passionate about what you do. I love it. That's awesome advice. Chase your passion, the money will follow. I love it. So, what did you learn in the whole process?
Focus. Every time I really learned how to focus. Every time there was something that could throw you off the rails, you could either focus on what's throwing you off the rails, or you could focus on what that dream or what that goal or what the outcome that you want it to be. When there are those hiccups that come in, those curveballs, those hurdles, how do you take them? Do you fall and get up and keep going towards that goal, or do you well, that was nice while it lasted? I started my paper route. I realized I didn't like throwing papers, and now that. But you never know if you're the paper boy of someone that wants to hire you in the future, and they just see your work ethic. Like definitely take advantage of those opportunities, and continue being you.
I like it.
Nice.
I like it. Take advantage of the opportunities. I love it. And the last thing is, what is your advice to the listeners out there?
Buy lots of Tesla. You can buy a Tesla. Buy Bitcoin. I'm not a financial advisor, but that's what I would do. Listeners, don't be afraid to fail. Embrace failure. Love what you're doing. And be you. Be genuine. Love people.
That's love.
I like it.
You know why? You know why I would want a Tesla? So I can change the horn now.
Wait. So what can you do to the horn?
You can upload whatever you want.
Are you serious? It could just be like the straight up F word.
Well, I mean, I assume so, but I'm sure at some point that might cause
I think I would do Dumb and Dumber, and I would stop. Like, you want to hear the most annoying sound in the world? And then it just plays that ah!
Yeah.
Oh shit. So I love it. I love it. So yeah. So John, where can the folks follow you at? Follow you or the business? How can they follow you?
I'm on Instagram, or the business at Battleground, or you can check us out at Backyard Axe Throwing League on Facebook.
Fun.
Yeah, and awesome. So awesome.
Plugins.
Battle Axe Throwing. Yep, and also if the folks want to follow you anywhere. So awesome. I like it. Follow. It's great.
And beat Navy.
Yeah.
Go Army, beat Navy.
Oh yeah.
Every day.
So I like it. So any last comments, Josh? Any last comments?
No, thanks for coming on. I learned a lot, coming from I'm in the technical background with computers and stuff, so I don't know too much about like financial, management and stuff like that. So I definitely learned a lot from this episode. So it was nice meeting you, and thanks for being on.
Yeah,
I'm definitely looking forward to part 2 and 3 of having you back on. So
looking forward to it.
Same here. I was even educated.
Oh yeah. And anything else, Kenny?
I was educated. I look
Yeah.
forward to hearing more in episode 2.
Oh yeah.
most definitely.
And yeah, and John, once again, I really do appreciate you being on the show. It was awesome, and there's so much valuable information that I learned from this, and just so much so much that's just out there that that the listeners can just learn from, and it's just awesome. And such a great role model, and that's awesome. I like it. So keep up the good work.
Yep.
Thank you for being on the show.
Appreciate it.
We are out.
Come on. Yeah, give me the shovel. Yeah, digging the dirt. Yeah, we digging the dirt. Yeah, we in this fight. Yeah, we in this